Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, a show that examines all aspects of sexuality, from physical to emotional to spiritual. Join our hosts as they discuss age-old questions, common misconceptions, and the latest topics surrounding sex. They'll tackle topics about sexuality from the complicated to the hilarious and everything in between. GSMC Sex Podcast is your show for all of your questions about sex, even some you might not have thought of yet.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from a point of view of an older woman. Hello, all my little sex symbols out there. This weekend is the weekend of love. Where love should just be all the time, but it is when we are celebrating at our fullest, February 14th, Valentine's Day. See a lot of people out there going out and getting their honey some flowers and the like. So, when it comes down to it, the flowers are just a gateway into an awesome night of sex. So I figured it'd be really cute to discuss how to pick a flower for your honey or someone your honey bun, and how they relate to sexuality, as well as some flowers that actually look like start talking about the art of shibari, which versus kinbaku, which is the Japanese art of not tying per se to tie, which is borders on bondage, but the whole idea and the difference between it is the fact that the Japanese art of tying rope or tying your partner up is really looking at the outcome of how the knot looks, and just seeing your partner like that is the sexuality of it. It's really not considered BDSM. So we'll get into that later. But right now, we're going to go through some flowers and the meanings. We got to start with the right flowers on Valentine's Day. Every kind of flower has a different meaning. You have the white lily, which symbolizes virginity. And, then everybody's, roses in some sense, and for the most part, everybody uses it, which is a symbol of I love you or love. How is a prostitute, as much as, you don't want to think that, but sometimes, everybody has their own interpretation of what the flowers should be. But we're going to start with the person who receives them. And there is a little bit of Greek background to the peonies. And there is a myth that goes back in mythology. Apollo used to turn beautiful nymphs into peonies. If Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, knew he was flirting with them. So he would turn them into fairies. Well, into peonies, fairies into peonies, or whoever he was looking, so he could hide it. So a little background on that one. A little mythology to go with it. Number 2, and the one that everybody goes to first on the list for the most part, is roses. They are always beautifully. This is the most obvious choice for Valentine's Day because of this symbolizing love and romance, beauty, and perfection. Obviously, this flower is also a bit pricey, but it's only one time out of the year, so don't be such a cheapskate. And, because a lot of places run out of them very, very fast. And that one's kind of sort of a gimme. Now, the next one is, their name is Mathiola incana. It's actually a spicy cinnamon and clover scented bouquet of flowers on the stem. And it is very nice to have in the bouquet. I don't know where you can find those, but I think actually, they're pink. And technically they really look like those first flowers that bloom, the buds that bloom on the trees when the seasons are changing. They look similar to that. Just a little smaller and a little bit more pinker. They are a beautiful little flower. They also symbolize beauty that doesn't fade with age and a lifetime of happiness. So that is something you might want to add in there. Red chrysanthemums. Chrysanthemums are quite popular as well. This is, again, another one that is associated with the love and the passion because of the redness that is it and comes through. Then you have this one. I'm really going to mess up the name too, but ranunculus. I believe I got it right. Ranunculus. And they're very, very pretty. They actually look like paper flowers. So they are very, very delicate, but very, very pretty. They call them like swirly flowers. They're called buttercups as well. And they actually symbolize charm, attraction, and radiance. So these are all the things you want to, put together in that bouquet. Or you can just pick one of the flowers and use that. Pink aster. They're actually named after their star-shaped head. And they actually, again, represent love, charm, and sensitivity. They're also the emblem of Venus. They represent Venus, the goddess of love. Very nice. Daffodils, always a favorite. The first thing we all go to when we walk by somebody's garden and we look, and we're always pointing out the daffodils. This is actually the 10-year anniversary flower. Now, you give this to your Valentine's. It's supposed to bring 12 months of good luck and happiness. Very, very sweet. The next one is a form of daisy, the Gerbera daisies. Beautiful. Again, another flower that looks like it's a paper, and it is like so delicate looking, and they are known to symbolize beauty, innocence, and purity. They are actually recognized for their large flowering heads. And they come in an assortment of like peppy hues, which is what helps them to give their symbolization and their meaning of cheerfulness. They are very pretty. Tulips, another favorite, and tiptoe through the tulips. Obviously, tulips actually stand for perfect love. Very, very sweet. They are very elegant, and you know that. Very identifiable. We see them everywhere. The tulips are blooming. They are one of the most popular flowers in the world, and they're often associated with the Netherlands, believe it or not. They actually flourished in the 17th century, and they convey comfort and warmth. So, a bundle of tulips. I mean, when you do your bouquets and you put them together, adding different flowers gives so much meaning of everything that you're trying to convey to your Valentine, instead of just sticking to just one particular flower. There are a lot out there that have meanings, and a lot of people do follow these to understand, and they convey a message that way as well. Let's see if I can say this one right. Alstroemeria. I'll be a little technical here. It is a Peruvian, I'm getting there, Peruvian lily. They last very, very long, and they represent friendship and devotion, and I believe the pink rose is also friendship. So the pink gives that friendship and that devotion, symbolizing that. There are a lot of blooms that come out on the stem, and it really generally stand for beauty, class, and style. Now, you give these to your partner, well, you're hitting them all. Lilies, they're very sophisticated. So, obviously, what do they have? They have the lilies on Easter, so the Easter lilies, and they can be quite pricey, but they are beautiful. So, orchids, absolutely stunning flower, and orchids usually you will go into you can see these in CVS, they have them out, or in the market, and they're that pretty royal blue or purple or pink. They're gorgeous, gorgeous. Again, a little pricey, but they're also rare, so that's why they are so pricey. But they are a symbol of love, beauty, luxury, and strength. They also, believe it or not, send the message of erotic seduction. So someone's getting that groove on tonight, or at least. And everybody loves orchids. They're absolutely beautiful. Usually they'll come by themselves in a plant pot. Carnations, they have to be on the list, because carnations are everybody's favorite, and they generally stand for fascination and new love. So if you just met your mate, and Valentine's Day is your first Valentine's Day, carnations would be awesome. I'll put a few things here and there. they are very good, and they come in all different colors as well. And what you can do if you get your partner white ones, have them put them in the colored water and with a little bit of food coloring, and it will go up and turn the leaves that particular color, so which is really, really cool. Sunflowers, although we always associate these with spring to summer, which we all love sunflowers, and they represent the warmth and happiness. They also can stand for loyalty, so that's always, always good. And everybody loves seeing when the sunflowers bloom. And last one before I go to break is the irises. Those purple and yellow flowers. Absolutely. Oh, they call them dark blue. I call them purple. So sorry. Actually, it's dark blue or purple. So I was right. And they represent loyalty. They are a very delicate flower. They're actually very beautiful. Blue. They stand for faith and hope, which is really nice. Now you put them together with tulips, and you're saying a whole lot of stuff. So on that note, I'm going to take my first break in the show. So while I'm going, go get yourself a drink, go get yourself a snack, come back, get relaxed, because I will meet you back here for more sex talk with Andra, where we'll pick up on our lovely Valentines, bouquets, and the flowers, moving up to the sexuality and some flowers that looks like sexual parts. So really, really nice, the femininity of it all. So I'll meet you back here.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Welcome back from that short break. I hope you have your drink and your snack and you are very comfortable. We're going to continue on with our flowers that are probably gonna get you good sex on Valentine's. And there are meanings, because you can take it and do an untraditional bouquet of flowers that each flower represents a part of you, a part of your relationship, a part of your partner, how you feel, and everything else that you want to put in there besides the kitchen sink. And our next flower is gardenias. Now, they are very fragrant. They are considered elegant flowers, just like a lot of others. And they actually signify purity, joy, and connote deep, old-fashioned love. And if you're trying to say that, then gardenias are for you for this Valentine's. It's something, they are a little pricey, but, you could get one or two. Like I said, make up a bouquet, which will work all together. And knowing that you have the well-balanced Valentine's bouquet, you are assured to get some serious sex on Valentine's Day. So, now with the flowers, we're going to move right along and to flowers that actually, they look like or resemble genitals. So, this is quite interesting. And some of them are on this list. So, let's get that started. And now we're going to up the beat. Whereas we're going to go through flowers that say, let's have sex. Because we are buying the bouquet and we need to now, move it into the bedroom. And, you really, some things you don't want to repeat things. You want your Valentine's to be different. So you want to express things like you think she's pretty. Because, it's kind of hard just if you're constantly saying it to really express what you truly feel. And there is a flower that really is that particular message, which is a daisy. Very simplistic, very beautiful, very pure. Just telling them, you're beautiful. And you're not going to say any words. It's right there. Another plant can help, set, bring out the fact of a secret admirer, or, someone's has been really likes you from afar, and is trying to come to say something. Secret admirer. You might want to buy a Acacia, which is ACAIA, because it basically is the flower that you want to send with a little sweet note in there, and it's really a way in which that it's allowing you to take the secret out, secret admirer out of the equation and make it reality. And through this, you're keeping your anonymity and really knowing that they enjoyed it. But it's a way in which, they tell. Now you have a flower where if you want to, reciprocated love, it's the same flower. And I care. And obviously it's responding to your admirer. If you want, letting them know that you want them to reciprocate the feelings. And also, I feel like that secret admirer, now you're coming back to answer or tell them, it's okay. And you're saying it to a flower because that's what the Acacia says. Another one is puppy love. This is more for that budding romance. And if you want to show that the romance is budding and growing and that you're loving it, basically, you would send either a violet rose or any colored rose without thorns. these actually, represent those beginning stages of love. And now when you take the thorns out, generally there's a significance that comes with the thorns that are on the rose stem. And they signify it too, meaning that each thorn is a challenge or a problem in your relationship. So they usually tell you not only for you not to hurt yourself, get dethorned roses, but that also signifies that there are no hidden things in your relationship per se. Next is getting down to business. Now, if you're not a big talker, there are flowers that you can get that's going to show your partner that sex is on the mind. And they are mauve carnations. They represent dreams of fantasy. Corianders can express your guilt, pleasure, or feeling of lust. Or coral or orange, roses also represent that passion and desire. You can take your pick under this one. Another thing is no thanks. If you want to basically say no to somebody's interest in you, you can get a striped carnation, which means no, I'm sorry, but I can't be with you. It is a beautiful flower. It smells good. So don't be so, it's going to be a little bit of a heartbreak, but that'll pass. Now, love this one. You're not getting in my pants. This one is focused on virginity and celibacy. More on the celibacy side, but a lot of more people are remaining virgins. Trying to signify that through a flower, you would use white flowers. It tends to, the white tends to represent the purity and the innocence. Or you can send a cornflower, also known as a bachelor's button or a lotus. Both of them or all of them do signify purity, chastity, and eloquence. So those are really nice ones. And they have to be white because white is pure. Next one is, I just want to be friends. This is usually done with yellow roses or a yellow rose because yellow roses signify friendship. And everybody knows that. But getting them a yellow rose also maintains that friend relationship, needing not to go any further with that. Now there are a lot of flowers out there, a lot of endless type flowers, which are symbolic for more than one thing. And they all have a lot of meanings. Get creative with your flower bouquet, especially on Valentine's Day. I mean, a lot of choices out there. Red roses, tulips, and that's to express your love for somebody. Look them up, and that's just an example. Look up the flower, look up their meanings, because once you have that, you're kind of sort of talking through that flower. And for the most part, women know what they mean, or your partner probably already knows what they mean. And that helps to convey all of these, and they're probably sitting there looking at them. Or you can even buy the flowers, put the bouquet, order the bouquet you want and how you want it, and then sit down with your partner or the recipient of the flowers and talk about which flowers mean what, and give the history of those flowers. And that shows the person that you gave it to all that your feelings towards them, and what's on, how you feel if you can't, if you're no good at expressing it outright. There are ways to do it. I mean, flowers are always, it's really weird if someone gets, if you get into an argument with your mate, obviously that person's going to be mad, and what's the first thing you run out to? Buying flowers. And the second one is jewelry, or if you want to get it all at once, you get the jewelry or the flowers, or a teddy bear. But flowers is the way in which people feel they have to soften things over with their partner and trying to get them to not be mad at them. So it's always something to think about there. And always something that's going to be there. But when you go in for your bouquet, instead of just going in and having that, just that rose, it's more of now you're going out and you're putting in different messages. And, like I said, and I'm pretty sure there's like a little book out there that will explain each of the flowers, what they mean, what they represent in regards to sex and that good stuff. Now, flowers are generally, or have often been associated with eroticism, and it's mainly, especially the female sex. There's they're finding it's dated back to early centuries, which is, a lot of people probably don't even know that, but it is. Back in those times, the women are more virgins than anything, and they were compared to flowers. And Sappho, which is back in the a long time ago, had made an analogy between a woman and a hyacinth in the mountains that the shepherds trampled with their feet. You have your Shakespeare, who also made note between woman and a flower, resorting to botanical metaphors, and often named his female characters after flowers. So flowers have a big play in the world, and they should be treasured like every day. Granted, yes, you wait till Valentine's, you send flowers, or you wait till, sometimes on New Year's, sometimes on Christmas, but more Valentine's is when it is. So take that bouquet that you were going to get and research flowers that you want to put in there that are going to say something to your partner. And then you guys can sit down together while you're, fondling or playing around, and go over the meanings of what they are with each other. It should be a fun evening, which will definitely land you in the sex bed. So I cannot complain about that. So we are going to take a break here. And when I come back, I'm going to go with some flowers that resemble the genitals. So, replenish your drink, replenish your snack, come back, get relaxed, and I will meet you back here for more sex talk with Andra.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Hello out there. I'm glad you're back. Because of the holiday, it's Valentine's this week, and everybody runs out to get flowers for their partner. Go into some flowers that would be really good that you can actually put together yourself as a bouquet that will relay that message. As we work on to now, we're going to look at sexually looking flowers. And we always, as humans, we're always looking at something and equating it to look like a female body part or a male body part. So, it is no surprise that flowers are in this category of things. So, the first one is an iris, which actually represents female, female genitals. And that's really what it looks like. But it's, this picture that was done, it was highlighting the plant's reproductive organs. So that's what it looked like. But if you look at it, it actually looks like a female's as well. So, calla lily. We all know what that one is, but they consider the calla lily the transgender of flowers. Because it looks as though it has both genitals, a penis and a vagina. So, really, really sexual one there. Orchid is next on our list. This orchid is said that the name, and it coming from, believe it or not, the orchid it comes from the Greek word for male parts. Or male organs, if you want to put it that way. And it usually, that is because it's talking about the bulbs of the plants instead of the flowers. These flowers you look at them, you are really seeing that sexual familiarity. That's an elephant cactus. Never heard of these, but we all know what cactus is, or shall I say cacti, if it's plural. They are really, really, really huge. I can't say anything else but resemble the man's penis or an erect penis. This next flower is quite interesting. It's the Psychotria elata. Now, this particular flower is very, very promiscuous. It looks as though it has, it's funny, it's been called hooker lips because it actually looks, the petals, the way they roll back and the shininess of them represent a female's red lipstick, or red lips, or lips that pucker. And they're a really pretty flower, but they do look like a female's lips. The minute you see it, you know where that's going. The Hydnora africana, which actually resembles a vagina, and right out there in the desert, I would presume, you can only say it, OMG. Phallus impudicus. This actually looks like a penis all the way. It is a mushroom, a fungi, and there is a head on it, just like a male's penis. Then it's a cylinder, cynical column, which is the shaft, and then it widens at the bottom. For the testicles, you can really only know that, and actually, believe it or not, the common name for this particular mushroom is stinkhorn. I wouldn't go out and cut it, obviously, because just alone, if it says that it is a stinky plant, it probably is, because that's probably their defense mechanism. So we are going to go on to flowers and continue with this that look like that act as aphrodisiacs. Hey, there are all other things that are aphrodisiacs. Why not flower? And it's like there are 6 that we're going to go over, and they've got an immensely gorgeous aroma, and they call them the aromatic sex flowers. And aphrodisiacs, we all know what those are. Turns on your groove. It's get you in the mood, at least get you started in that particular direction. They enhance your sex drive right then and there. A lot of people will go out, especially on Valentine's, and get something that they know is an aphrodisiac because they want to have sex all night long. Simple as that. Now we're going to continue on our way here with our lovely flowers, where we have spoken about the rose, and moving along to jasmine, which a good amount of people really love jasmine. The smell, the tea. Jasmine is one of the flowers of love and desire. Most people know to associate jasmine with sexual desire. It also it is well known that it is an aphrodisiac. It is got that lovely feminine fragrance, which is very, very popular. A lot of people go buy incense, they buy oils. I mean, obviously, there's tea. But this flower actually helps you to overcome tensions and retain the love in your relationship. When you use like the oil, it actually can work to enhance both you and your partner's like sexual strength, libido, and triggers your sexual desire in both sexes. So very, very popular. Next one would be lavender. A lot of people love lavender, and a lot don't. Lavender is one of those scents that can go either way. But it's got a beautiful color to it. It's got that feeling of soothing, which is always, always right. And they consider that it has due to its color, it is very mesmerizing. Boy, it is terrible today. Mesmerizing. So, you know that it is known for triggering your sexual desire. And if there's a presence of sedative, they generally give the presence of sedative and relaxing properties that are involved with lavender. A lot of people have lavender oils and things like that because it also relieves stress and improves the blood flow in the body, which is very important when it comes to sex. Next one is morning glory, which is those little bell-shaped flowers. They're so cute. They are known to have that aphrodisiac effect. And it's generally, they found that it was in nature. And then once they seen what it could do there, it's one of those flowers, if you get it, will act as an aphrodisiac and will help your sexual relation. Probably something that you need to get used to. If that's the case, maybe put it in your tea, things like that. It's got an acidic property to it, so depending on how and what you want to get out of it, it's all up to you. Sunflower again on our list, always a happy little plant. It actually says the presence of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties. Very, very good to know. Obviously, when those things are being taken care of, it improves your well-being. And that's what it's here for. So, sunflower seeds are really, really fun to pick out and eat. But the seeds have been known to release the feel-good hormone called dopamine and reduce the level of nervousness and stress, which in turn helps you to have better sex, because you don't want to be, stressed out and having sex. We are onto the poppy flower. Okay, poppy flower, poppy seeds, even in or on a bagel. It is a drug. whether you want to admit to it or not. If you ever have eaten a bagel or done anything with poppy seeds and then had to go give blood, it will show up. It will show up on the blood work. So, I don't think it won't. But it isn't said that these flowers, the poppy flowers, are actually beautiful and have a beautiful color to them. Obviously, it's supposed to be, if you plant this particular flower in your garden to enhance your sexual life, which is really good. It also has the ability to boost the sexual fantasy and desires of a person and offers a fragrance that attracts many people. Kind of similar to the seeds in the sunflower seed. It improves your dopamine levels and your moods are enhanced and you get really good sleep and it helps with your relaxation. Now, that probably comes to the point where, because the poppy and the poppy seeds, obviously people extract it for drug making. And they're not really thinking about sex when they do it. I can't help that at all. But it happens. That's why you don't go, like I said, eat poppy seeds. You're thinking you're doing is eating that morning bagel that you love so much. And then go in the doctor, give them blood work. And they find this drug in your system. Well, you got a lot of explaining to do. What can I say? Now, on that note, we are taking the final break in the show. So, completely up to you if you want to go and replenish that snack or that drink. Other than that, if you're in the middle of getting it on, keep at it. Go for it. But I will still meet you back here after the break for more sex talk with Andra. And we're going to finish up with the flowers and talk about, you might be able to go out and get the flowers, each different one meaning something to the person receiving them. But we're going to give you, I'm going to talk about the art of a Japanese bonding, which is called shibari. So when I come back, that's what we're going to talk about. So, see you shortly, or actually, talk to you shortly.
Are you tired of the same old news? Are you sick of the seemingly endless political spin and negativity? The GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast is a weekly news podcast covering all the top positive and uplifting news stories. We cover stories that will inspire, uplift, and remind you of the good in the world. Tune into the Golden State Media Concepts America's Still Beautiful podcast to get all the great and positive news stories of today. Download the GSMC America's Still Beautiful podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type GSMC in the search bar.
Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from an point of view of an older woman. And would love to thank you for tuning back in. this is the final segment of the show for today. But I will be back with more. Now, I was going to talk about the art of knot tying, but we'll do that for next time. So I found what will help you, some more that can be of service to you on Valentine's Day. Really knowing if your lingerie is as naughty as you are. Obviously, lingerie is going to play a big part this weekend. So care to take it a little easy on them. But hey, have your fun. And it could be more than whatever you wanted. Now, first one is, how naughty are you? There are some questions you need to answer. If you decide, if you really want to take your prim and proper persona, and you want to look, a little cheesy, you change the words and change paragraphs, or if they're considering that a paragraph. But you really want to know, because either your mate's going to buy them for you with the flowers that they bought you, and heeding that they did go and check out what colors meant what. Also, get it. Hopefully, it's something that you like and that it actually fits you, not too itchy or anything. Now, what's in your lingerie jar? And they list a few things: scrunched up knickers and socks. It's just underwear after all. And we all have that tendency to do that. We just get some underwear, boom, goes into one of the, we don't even fold them anymore. They just are put together into the drawer box. So, have a few matching sets. Some people are obsessed by lingerie. It's all matching for me. And that's generally saying yes. It's a lot of different things. I like to have fun. Okay. This is your lingerie that you're wearing. Are you setting this off, this jasmine and all this, getting those flowers, especially ones that are aphrodisiacs as well. So, if you dare to look, you'll probably be shocked. Don't worry about those. Number 2, what colors of lingerie are in your lingerie drawer? Black, neutral, white color. Usually black is the first one we always go for. Then it's usually white. I'm surprised it was neutral that is here. Then going down to number 2, which is mostly neutrals with the odd statement piece, just like I said. I'm just the opposite. So any color as long as the matching, it's matching my outfit. Sometimes you guys want to go to role play in the bedroom. You have costumes in the bedroom that you will use. Use them. Simple as that. I don't think I need to say much more than that, but simple as that. Next one depends on my mood. I can really be pastel pink one minute and raunchy red the next. Yeah. So, it does. If you have moods that change at the drop of a dime, you might want to get that looked at. Next one, black, red, clear. I like strong colors. And those are generally the colors on Thanksgiving. But remember, that will be in your drawer. And if you're only going to wear it on that one day and put it there, well, that's fine. Because if you ever wanted it and you went back, it might not even be there. So, Now, number 3, which is, if you wanted to role play, who or what would you be? You got that one, number A, that says role play never. B is probably something simple. It's supposed to come fun, either could be funny. Yeah, could be fun, either. Okay, the next one's either a Stepford wife or something with a uniform, maybe a French maid or a nurse. Those are the common ones. Get a little bit more creative if you don't mind. Granted, don't mess with the oldies. But, they also have a nurse costume that's highly publicized. Another is anything as long as it turns us on. Well, that's why she's wearing the lingerie or he's wearing the lingerie, depending on who is what. Sexy superhero matron dominatrix. Anything where I hold the power, which is a very real thing that sometimes you get into power struggles, basically. You don't want to do that. Now, what do you like most about sex? Questions are related to that. Alright. A, embarrassing question. Move on, please. A lot of people cannot answer that question because it is none of your business. So, it's an intimate time for me and my partner to be together. Well, yes, it is. So, it's fun and it feels good too. Well, that's what it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to do. I'm going for anything that, so long as it finishes well. Meaning, as long as you get to your orgasm and have one. That is the goal there. Everything, what isn't there, like to do. There is so many things you can do out there. Sexually, I'm pretty sure that you have something in the back of your head that you've always wanted to try. But, first of all, the two of you sit down and talk about it and everything. And she needs to clean up as well. So, now we're at that point where you're asking yourself, how naughty are you? And you have to come up with an answer to that. Want to see where you land off on the naughty scale? Think about your answers. What letter did you answer for most? And this is how you actually answer that quiz. Those questions with the ABSC there. And you pick one of those and try and match them. So those are that will answer how naughty you are. So if you picked A for that, and no abundance of you picking was A, well then, you have that about you. Mostly as nice, not naughty is the next level to score out. Same way. Score them out. And, you may just see lingerie as a functional term rather than something to enhance your sex life. A lot of women wear them under their clothes. It becomes second nature to them. And it doesn't really set them apart from anybody because they've been seen and everything else. Next one is where to start. So, this is really with regards to that naughty lingerie. It might be new for you, might be old for you. Find a place where she would not feel uncomfortable and would be able to go there and go and start, because you gotta think, you're thinking there, and when you're thinking, you're getting embarrassed, and you don't want to be embarrassed. It is a fun thing. The whole goal is to have an orgasm. And the lingerie are there to help visualize, because that's what they go out and buy them for. Although I've seen men slacking off a little bit, so I'll take that as being a little bit of that embarrassment and everything else. You could always play strip poker or a strip version of a card game that you know and love playing, and that might just ease your non-comfort size, because then it allows you to be a little bit more relaxed and enjoy yourself and let the lingerie talk, because that's what it is on you for. You put it on for a reason. It isn't supposed to stay on all the time, but you get something that's versatile. You can wear it under your clothes to work or to wherever. You go home, hang it right back up. Completely up to you. Right now it's just a little chilly out there, so make sure. These things are very, very much fun. Trying to find out if your, lingerie is for you, give it a try. A lot of people, there's the Victoria's Secret. There's still Fredericks of Hollywood out there, and they've got some good things in there as well. And they have the dog there, which is pretty good, because he'll come right over and want to pet you, so you end up having to pet him. Valentine's is that time to, get those flowers, be a little bit more communicative, communicate through them, which may just open the door for communication between you and your partner. Having fun sexually, being able to wear that lingerie. Have your mate go out and pick out something they want to see you in, and you wear it, and you can go from there with it, whether you keep it or get rid of it. Completely up to you, but for the most part, most couples love lingerie to wear them, and especially on Valentine's Day. Get the flowers, make the arrangement, which each flower says something and expresses how you feel to that person. Then, find out, go find some lingerie to go with the night, because it may just be a wild night. A lot of plants out there that are sex symbols plants. You need to really look for them and then pick some, because some of them have an aphrodisiac effect. So, what's in that? You need to know. And that's what it's all about. This year, you want to be different. You don't want to bring that old boring way in which you did it last year, running to the store at the last minute to get the flowers. Put a thought process, in them. Put the order in through 1-800-Flowers or Edible Arrangements. If I'm not mistaken, they also have flowers there as well. Or you can put, request them to do something that way, and you pick the flowers, because this is what it is all about. Bring those flowers, communicating through those flowers. Also, your partner getting turned on by those flowers and what those properties are. So on that note, that is the end of my show for today. As always, please practice safe sex. If not for you, for your partner. Enjoy your Valentines. And if you are trying anything new at all, educate yourself about it. Communicate that to your partner. And always, 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 a consent between mutual parties needs to be made. Very, very important. So, I'd like to thank you for tuning into the GSMC Sex Podcast, which is brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I do ask that you click the little like button and also give 5 stars, give a good review. It not only helps me, but it does help the GSMC Podcast Network. Also, please seek us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We are there. You can also stop in on those and post something, which lets them know that you want to, basically letting us know that you love the show and letting us know what you want there as well, or what to hear on the podcast, the discussion. And basically, that is all for right now. Please do enjoy your Valentines with your sweetheart, because this is the day of love, and it is creeping up on us. 2 more days, and it is here. So until next time, thank you again, and have an awesome sex night.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast.